Welcome to Shawn and Carter. I have a podcast. My name is Shawn.
And my name's Carter.
Carter, you sound different.
I don't know what you mean by that. Please describe.
You sound like you have an overabundance of estrogen in your voice.
Fine. This is Alicia Pez. Just
Alicia
checking
Pez.
in.
You look so funny with the goatee on your face.
I look awesome with a goatee.
This is the point where you will no longer look like Carter on the YouTube video.
Oh, cool. Good to know.
We'll have to pull a picture of you from one of my videos for it.
Okay.
Okay. So
That'd be a good one.
Turns out this week, it's Super Bowl weekend, which meant that I had to work on Saturday, which is not normal. And so Carter and I had some problems coordinating, and here we are.
And you needed a lady's opinion for once. So I'm here.
And we needed to get a guest on the podcast. This is the 25th episode, and this is our very first guest, and Carter's not even here.
25th episode.
25th episode.
I'm going to be 25.
Alicia's turning 25 very soon.
I am. It's in a week. It's exciting.
What happens then?
You can 25. Drive? Yeah. I can rent a car or something.
You can have a quarter-life crisis.
Hotel?
What?
Some hotels don't allow you to be like the primary person until you're 25.
Oh.
But it's like random things. It's not all of them. Anyway, yeah, 25. Super duper.
It's nothing that exciting.
Right, exactly.
Like, once you get past 21 in America, there aren't any ages that matter. Because retirement age doesn't even matter anymore. There used to be like a gold watch age, and that doesn't exist anymore.
I don't know what you mean by that.
When you turn 65, you would retire and you'd get a gold watch. And that just doesn't exist anymore.
People wear watches?
I don't. I famously don't. So anyway, we're not going to talk about Google Plus and...
No, we're not going to talk about all that other stuff. That's all I care about.
We're not going to talk about PR and Apple and no.
Just some movies.
We're going to talk a little bit about Marvel, since Alicia's watched every one of these Marvel movies with me.
Except for one.
Which was the first Iron Man?
Yes.
Which you've seen...
I have seen
several times. So basically, what's your favorite?
I think, I don't know if I necessarily... I think Thor. I think Thor was my favorite.
Thor is your favorite?
I liked Thor a lot.
Ron, very surprisingly, said that he went back and watched... He either hadn't watched Thor again or something, and he went back and watched The Hulk and Thor and liked The Hulk more.
Yeah, that one was dumb. That was terrible. I didn't like The Hulk at all.
Yeah, I don't even think The Hulk was a good movie.
Yeah, I would agree. I didn't care for it. I even like Ed Norton. I wanted him to be okay.
Especially since he helped write it and everything.
Yeah, but it just was no good.
No.
It wasn't funny. I don't know. It just was not... Hulk was not my favorite. I can give that for sure. I'm pretty sure Thor's my favorite. I liked Captain America. I like Iron Man. I like Iron Man 2.
Yeah, Captain America, this was our first... Neither of us had seen it.
Exactly. It was nice to watch one for the first time.
And Carter and I will go into more detail next week with it, but I really liked it.
Yeah, actually, I did too.
I thought it felt like it really did belong with Thor and Iron Man 2. It fit into that same type of movie.
Yeah, definitely. Although, I've already told you what my main complaint is with most of them. Except for Iron Man.
Well, you can't remind me. You have to tell them.
I know. I'm going to. I thought you might say, interject, yes, you have. Tell them. And you kind of
I'm telling you right now. Go.
Psh, I just...
Ow!
Slapped him across the face. Anyway, my main complaint with all of the movies is that I understand that they're building up to the Avengers, and that's going to be, huge and amazing, and I'm really excited for it. But I felt like every movie was a prologue. Other than Iron Man, which I felt like both of those movies were quite complete. Thor was just I found my hammer. That's awesome. I finally got it out of the ground.
It built up to something and then hung there.
Yeah, exactly. And same with Captain America. There's tiny little trivial challenges until they find themselves and then they're the superheroes. But it didn't... It felt very much like a prologue.
I know it's not until Iron Man 2 that they kind of leave it to hang for the Avengers, but I do... Right. You're right. I do in the first Iron Man, you get the whole way to the end, he stares in the camera and says, I'm Iron Man. And that's the end of the movie, and it feels like a complete story.
Exactly. And with Thor, it was he got there, and he kind of adjusted to life on Earth, and he fixed his home stuff. Exactly. I don't know.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. And it just, as I said, it felt like all of the obstacles in Thor and Captain America were more trivial and weren't as, I don't know, couldn't hold up an entire movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Even though they were long movies, it's not like they were short.
And now, like, all the conflicts that have been set up aren't resolved.
Exactly.
Like him and Loki. Or the fact that him and the girl that he likes are separated now. Like, there's stuff that needs to resolve.
Exactly.
And they didn't resolve it.
So overall, like, I like them all, but
welcome to the world of comic books.
Yeah.
Where everything is a cliffhanger.
Every movie just felt very much like a prologue, which I did not care for. But I am super psyched for the Avengers, so it'll all work itself out.
Now, let's just hope that they don't do what they're doing with Spider-Man and in like 10 years from now restart them all again.
Yes. Let's hope not.
That would be the worst. I was wondering...
Is anybody actually excited for new Spider-Man? Anyone?
I guess.
Really? Really? You're not. Come on.
I'm going to see it eventually.
Really?
I don't know if I'm not going to go midnight screen it. Okay. Here, see, this is why I have to stop saying no, because I would have said no to Thor. I would have said no to Thor a million times because I saw the previews. Until you found
out that Kenneth Branagh was directing it?
No, even when I knew that, I was still like... Because of movies like The Hulk, I was like, it's not that interesting. I don't really care. And then when the reviews came out, the reviews were so positive and so like, this is a great movie. Forget that it's a comic book character or anything. You don't need to know any of that. It's a good movie. It was
good. Yes, enjoyable.
And that's what convinced me. So if Spider-Man, for some reason...
Is well reviewed.
And Andrew Garfield is like a great actor and blah, blah, blah. I love Emma Stone.
I do too.
There are good elements going into the movie. It might be a good movie.
It's true. I
felt the same way about X-Men First Class. I wasn't that excited about it.
Oh, I was.
And then all the elements came together, and what a great movie.
It was really good. I think that is
Carter
probably
hasn't
one of my
seen
favorite.
It.
Really?
Carter has not seen it.
Shame on you. That one is awesome.
I convinced him. He needs to watch it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Just for the fact that it will change the way he looks at the other X-Men movies.
Yeah,
because it sets up Xavier, Magneto, and Mystique in such a different way than you ever put it together in your head before.
Yeah, you don't realize how old she is because she ages so
weirdly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't really.
I wonder how old she's going to end up. So these movies are pretty guy centric, I'd say.
Oh yeah, I actually wanted to throw my opinion on the table here. As a lady, I feel like, we really need to evaluate all the superheroes. And I just want to say, Thor was so the most attractive. I just wanted to throw that out there. Robert Downey Jr. is pretty good.
But he's old.
Ed Norton, no. Sorry, no. Mark Ruffalo, eventually, still no. He's too old.
He's old.
I do like Chris Evans in general.
I do like Chris Evans. I never saw the Fantastic Four movies, and I probably won't. But,
yeah, that's fine.
But the times that I've seen him acting, I've been like, he is a good actor.
I liked him in Scott Pilgrim.
Yes. Oh my God.
He was great. Anyway, Thor's the cutest. If you're gonna watch one, ladies out there, just watch Thor. It's the best, and he's super.
Is it the hair?
No, I don't know. What does it look like? Long
He's
blonde?
got Goldilocks.
He does. I'm not a huge fan of blondes in general.
I'm not a huge fan of long hair on guys, but I will say he had beautiful hair. He had gorgeous. It looked godlike.
Yes, I guess you're right. Yes, it looked like a Norse god.
It looked like he inherited it from his father.
Totally.
Tony Hopkins also had long hair in that movie.
Yeah.
So Thor's the hottest.
Oh, totally. Oh my gosh, by far.
Well, I'm glad we settled that.
I know, exactly.
So now I have to decide which girl.
Oh, yeah.
Which
love interest?
Oh, well, that's not even a contest.
Who is it?
It's Black Widow.
Really?
Come on.
Of course it is. ScarJo.
ScarJo
She beats everyone every time.
She's far beyond.
You and Carter probably don't get into these things, do you?
No, we do not.
What? You don't talk about
we're like
the more shallow part of movies?
We're like, oh, and the cinematography in this scene.
Thor is so cute.
Yeah, there's a particular shot in Iron Man 2 that we didn't bring up because it has nothing to do with technicality.
Right.
Where Gwyneth Paltrow and ScarJo are standing back to back.
Oh, yeah?
And there's a nice curve going on between the ladies that's... I'd say it's pretty hard for a guy not to notice what's going on there. I'm sure Jon Favreau, there's one shot that's in Italy or Monaco or wherever the
car chase
yes.
thing. car race.
There's one there, and then there's also one at the expo where they're both walking up the steps away from the camera. Nice.
Uh-huh.
Very nice.
Oh, I remember that one. You pointed it out.
Shh.
When they're walking up the steps. We
I
were
would
watching the
never.
movie and he was like, look at those badonkadonks or something like that. I think he said that.
I don't think I've ever used that word before in my life.
I just said it for you.
So, you said it. What does that mean?
I said it for you, so you just said it.
Okay. Before we run, I want to throw out one thing about Captain America that I want to talk about with Carter. Hugo Weaving.
What about him?
Hugo Weaving, I knew that eventually he was going to look the way that he eventually did.
Red Skull.
Because he is Red Skull.
Right.
I was thinking the whole time that they were showing him in human form when he looked like a normal person that he looked funny.
Yeah.
Like his face just looked weird.
Yeah.
And then he took off his face later.
Did, yeah.
And I was like, that looks normal. Like,
yeah.
when he pulled away his skin, for some reason, that looked more natural than he did when he was made up like a person. Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool.
It was. He looked excellent.
We both had issues with his accent.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much all of them.
You always have issues with accents.
I do. What are you talking about?
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Well, okay, that's just because I didn't understand anyway. Whatever.
What?
I don't want to discuss that.
Why not?
Because I think it's really weird. If you're not going to speak, it's just like an empty gesture to me. You want to make a Swedish movie, so you decide that people are just going to speak in Swedish accents, even though they're not Swedish. Daniel Craig did not pull it off. He just sounded English, and I'm fine with that. Okay?
They're trying to immerse you in the setting.
Okay? It's not a Swedish, it's an American movie. Just because it's not like, it totally makes it.
But they're supposed to be Swedish people. They've been doing it for 100 years.
I know. I just think it's weird.
Well, it's not going away. What movies have you seen that they don't do that?
I don't know. I never understand why they do it. That's all. I'm always just like, why? These are American people.
So if you went to see a stage play that, like, took place in, like, where does Sound of Music take place? Austria?
Yeah.
If, like, the people in it didn't speak with Austrian accents, wait, do they in The Sound of Music, the movie?
I don't know.
I guess they don't.
So, in your
face! There we go. Okay.
Oh!
So we just found one. In The Sound of Music.
They're in Austrian. They don't speak in ridiculous
Julie
Austrian accents.
Andrews
it's totally fine.
Okay. I guess it's fine. Maybe it has something to do with musical theater.
Could be. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure. I just don't understand. If you're not going to actually speak in Swedish, why pretend? It's not like the actors are Swedish and they're speaking English.
The point here is that Hugo Weaving's German accent
oh, yeah, I guess that's the real point.
Was not great.
No, it wasn't. But
he does a very good American accent.
Yeah, he does.
But he is Australian. And
that's right.
It is not...
Aw, him and Thor can be buddies.
Yeah, they can.
They are Australian.
It's not hard to hear his Australian accent through his German accent.
I always forgot, yeah. I thought he was English for some reason.
Oh, no, he's very Australian.
One of those accents that sounds not American to me.
Just in case anyone's listening who wants to accuse me of being racist or something,
accentist.
That's all her.
What?
That's all her.
I'm simply saying that Australian, British, and there's one other one, sound more alike to me than the American accent.
Okay.
I forget what the other one is, though. Epic fail.
New Zealand?
I guess, maybe.
South Africa?
South Africa, definitely. But those all sound more
We're just
alike.
naming British colonies.
Yeah, exactly. They sound
Every British
more
colony. You want to explain your drift thing? Your colonial drift?
Oh, it's called colonial lag. It's a feature of languages that the colony will actually retain more sound. Like, their sound will actually change slower than sounds in the homeland. So, as I learned from my professor, Dr. Shields, Shakespearean
Dr. Shields,
English.
shout out.
Yeah. Shakespearean English, which was during the colonial period, it was spoken in England, is actually closer to American English now because we have colonial lag. Our language and the sounds in America have changed slower. So, like, the languages that you would find, the dialects of English that you would find in the New England, like in Boston and maybe New York, probably not New York, have more features.
New York.
Yeah. R dropping is more present in New England than actual English, British English.
So
because it's changed so much more rapidly.
Who accuse us of not
butchering
pronouncing
Shakespeare.
Things correctly, you're the ones who've changed.
Yeah, changed faster. Colonial lag. It happens everywhere.
Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm. I love language, guys.
My wife's a pretend linguist.
It's just fascinating. So anyway, we get back to Thor and the Australians in it and whatnot.
Who else?
There weren't any more. Fine.
Just the one?
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner's not Australian.
No. Anyway, so everybody, we're all done. We're ready for the Avengers?
Yeah. Right. We're all caught up.
I'm so excited for it.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about Joss Whedon today and how much I like him.
Thinking about him, dreaming about
Basically,
him.
Because Carter and I have a secret side project that we're going to start because we have so much time to spend on doing.
Obviously.
But anyway, it involves Joss Whedon stuff, and I'm just getting excited for that, basically.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so is it time to call it quits?
When the phone rings,
gotta go, bye!
It's time to go. I'm Shawn, and this is a podcast.
I'm Alicia. My voice got caught for a second. I'm Alicia, and this is a podcast. Oh, no.